They start with stillness, not the stillness of doing nothing, but the kind that centers you, the kind that reminds you who you are before the world tells you who to be. See, every morning the world throws noise at you. Notifications buzzing, demands knocking, people pulling you every which way, but successful people, they don't react, they align, they don't pick up their phone first, they pick up their peace. I'm talking about that quiet space, that moment when it's just you and God, or maybe it's you and your breath, your journal, your thoughts, before anything external gets in. They go inward, because when the soul is right, the steps are steady. I remember when I was younger, trying to make it in this business, running around, chasing auditions, chasing approval. Man, I was tired, not just in my body, in my spirit. And an old actor, a man who'd been through the fire, he pulled me aside and said, "Son, don't let the business dictate your rhythm. Find your stillness. That's where your power is." And he was right. The moment I stopped scrambling and started listening, to the silence, to the still voice inside, that's when things started changing. You see, the greatest warriors don't just fight, they wait. They listen, they don't jump into the day, they step into it. With purpose, with clarity, with calm. Stillness ain't weakness, stillness is strategy, and when you find that still moment, whether it's 5 minutes or 50, you build a foundation the chaos can't shake. Because no storm outside can break a person who's anchored on the inside. You start there every day, and you don't just walk through life. You walk with directio, they plan with purpose. Every single day, successful people walk into the world with a map. Not a random list of tasks, not a scribble of errands. They move with intention, with clarity, with direction. They don't let the day happen to them. They shape the day before it ever begins. See, most folks wake up and roll straight into the fire. Emails, problems, noise, they jump into the day like it's a race without knowing where the finish line is. But the ones who rise above, the ones who build legacies, they pause, they think, they plan. I'm not talking about planning just for productivity. This ain't about being busy. This is about alignment. They ask, what am I working toward today that connects to who I want to become tomorrow? It's a bigger picture kind of thing. Every task, every meeting, every move, they tie it back to the mission. They don't say yes to everything, because every yes is a no to something else. So they choose wisely. I remember a time early in my career when opportunities started coming in left, right, everywhere. And I almost drowned in them. You can be pulled in 1,000 directions by good things and still miss the right thing. But then I learned, if it doesn't serve the purpose, it's just a distraction dressed up in opportunity. Successful people plan the night before, or they wake before the sun, pen in hand, writing down their direction. What matters today? What needs my best energy? What can only I do? Because they know if you don't steer your day, someone else will. And here's the truth. Clarity creates confidence. When you know what you're doing and why, you don't second guess. You don't chase validation. You move with peace in your steps and fire in your chest. Planning with purpose isn't about control, it's about calling. And when your plan lines up with your purpose, the world starts making room for you. Doors open, momentum builds. You don't just chase success. You draw it in, they move their body. Every single day, successful people make time to move. They understand that this vessel, this body we've been given is, and just a container for dreams. It's the engine that drives them. And if the engine breaks down, the journey stops cold. It's not about looking good for a mirror or showing off in a gym. No, it's deeper than that. It's about energy, discipline, presence, because when your body is in motion, your mind follows. When you sweat, when you stretch, when you feel your heart beat with purpose, your thoughts sharpen, your focus locks in, your spirit wakes up. And let me tell you something. The most successful people I've met, they treat their health like it's part of their job, because it is, whether it's a 5 a.m. run, yoga in the living room, or just a walk around the block with some clarity in their chest and a goal on their mind, they move. I remember doing films where the call time was 4:30 in the morning, no excuses, no slack, and even then, I'd see people getting up before the shoot to get a workout in. Not because they had extra time, but because they had a mindset. They weren't just preparing for the scene, they were preparing for life. You ever notice how after a workout, your whole mood shifts, your posture straightens, your voice gets stronger, your decisions feel firmer? That's not an accident, that's alignment, because when you push your body, even just a little, you remind yourself that you are in control, that you can do hard things, that you can show up when it matters most. And I'll tell you this, movement breeds momentum. When you start your day with action, the rest of the day follows your lead. You're not dragging, you're driving. So the ones who rise to greatness, they don't wait for motivation. They put their feet on the floor, they breathe in purpose, and they move. Because a still dream needs a moving body to bring it to life. They feed their mind. Every single day, successful people make the conscious decision to grow. Not just in their skills, but in their thinking. They know that the mind, just like the body, needs fuel. And if you don't feed it with something real, something rich, the world will feed it junk, negativity, distractions, noise. See, the great ones. They don't just consume, they curate. They don't scroll all day chasing empty headlines. They chase wisdom. They read books, not because it's trendy, but because it stretches the mind. They listen to voices that sharpen their vision, that challenge their comfort zones. Podcasts, interviews, conversations. They collect ideas like tools, and every tool has a purpose. I've met billionaires who still read like they're broke. I've met artists who study their craft every night like it's the first time they picked up a brush. Because they understand learning is never done. There is no finish line for the mind, and it doesn't always have to be formal. Sometimes it's as simple as asking a better question, listening more than you talk, staying curious instead of acting like you already know everything. I remember sitting in rooms with people who'd achieved things I hadn't even dreamed of yet, and instead of talking, I'd lean in, I'd listen. Because every person knows something you don't, and if you're humble enough, they might just share it with you. Successful people treat learning like oxygen. They don't skip it, they don't take it for granted, and they don't stop when things get good. Because the moment you stop learning, you start slipping. That's when you plateau. That's when you fall behind. Not because the world moves too fast, but because you stopped moving with it. So they feed their minds daily. Not when it's convenient, but when it's necessary. Because it is necessary. Because every new idea, every fresh perspective, every lesson taken to heart, it becomes a seed, and in the right season, that seed becomes fruit. Fruit that feeds their dreams, fruit that fuels their leadership, fruit that multiplies far beyond themselves. That's the quiet truth of success. It begins with what you plant in your mind, and if you want a life that grows, you better start feeding it the things that grow you. They attack the hard stuff first. Successful people don't tiptoe around the tough tasks. They go straight at them. While the world is busy procrastinating, making excuses, or waiting for the perfect moment, the ones who win, they're already knee-deep in the challenge, because they understand something most people don't. What's hard is often what matters most. See, early in the day, before the distractions come, before the fires need putting out, before the energy starts to fade, they lean into the work that stretches them, the uncomfortable conversations, the big decisions, the work that scares them a little because it means something. They don't hide from pressure, they thrive in it. They don't wait until they feel like it, because they know if they wait for motivation, they might never start. Discipline is their fuel, not emotion. I remember being on set, exhausted from the night before, pages to memorize, scenes to shoot, responsibilities stacking up like bricks on my shoulders, and I had two options: complain or commit. So I started waking up earlier, tackling the hardest scenes before the sun even rose, and you know what happened? Everything else got lighter. Because when you conquer the mountain in the morning, the hills in the afternoon don't even faze you. The most successful people outwork their doubts by outpacing their delay. They don't negotiate with the hard thing. They schedule it, first thing, no wiggle room, no back doors, just grit. Because deep down they know the truth, avoidance is a thief. It steals time, it steals momentum, it steals your confidence, piece by piece, day by day, but every time you choose to face the hard thing first, every time you choose to act instead of avoid, you build a kind of muscle that can't be bought. Trust in yourself. And that trust, that belief that you will show up no matter how hard it gets, that's the edge. That's what separates those who talk about success from those who live it. So while the world hits snooze, while others rearrange their to-do lists to dodge the discomfort, successful people are already moving, already doing, already winning, one hard decision at a time. Now listen to me, success isn't some grand event that happens once and then you're done. It's not a trophy on a shelf or a headline in the paper. Success is built every single day, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. It's in the stillness before the chaos, the purpose behind every plan, the sweat in every move, the knowledge you soak in, and the courage to face what's hard first. If you want to change your life, don't wait for the perfect moment or some magic breakthrough. Master the small things, own your routine, make greatness a choice you wake up and commit to every morning. Because the truth is, greatness is not given. It's earned in the daily decisions, in the battles fought when no applause is coming. You've got that power inside you, so now it's on you. Stand up, step forward, and live the life only you can create. Go on. Make today the day you start winning.